Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the password protector herself, Sandy Reevy.
You're funny.
It is episode 407, the week of May 11th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we start off the week with May 12th, Tuesday, Mercury sextile Jupiter.
Take up a course.
Thursday, May 14th, Mercury conjunct Sun.
Cazimi time.
Saturday, May 16th, new moon in Taurus.
3:01 p.m. Central, plant many seeds.
Sunday, May 17th, Mercury ingress Gemini.
Mental busyness.
And Sandy's Astro Interesting Day, Sunday, May 17th, Mercury conjunct Uranus.
Invention?
Then in Talisman Times, we are discussing to welcome a vocation that is respected and influential. On the horizon, we have the Chicago UAC Egypt retreat. And in our house, I have a Taurus meditation for you for the new moon in Taurus. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your stars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you does...
Hello, password protector.
You're funny. Capital Y-O-U-R, capital F-U-N-N-Y.
YOURU''.
Yeah, I mean, passwords are no joke. I mean, you set up a one password for me, and I'm like, what is the one? I don't even know the one.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are so many different ways that people can either hack into your accounts or socially engineer some pages that make you believe you're signing into a certain page, but you're really just giving them all your passwords. So it is time for you to evolve into a more secure and password protected password vault.
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
good now. I think.
Yeah,
I think. Until I want to
we'll
get into the
see.
one that I can't get in. Right.
Yeah, right. All right, so it is episode 407, the week of May 11. Let's get into the transits. And we start off with Tuesday, May 12th. Mercury
Yeah.
sextile Jupiter.
Yeah. This is, Mercury and Jupiter come together in a sextile. It says given the opportunity. And I really like this to take up a course. It's a great time to be studious student. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Mercury is combust here. Mercury is at 20 degrees, and the sun is at 21 on this day, which is why in a couple days we're going to get the Cazimi. But it's best to absorb versus to express. So that's why it's great to take up a course. It's actually I'm in two new courses now. So, I have not been able to take any refine any of my skills or predictive techniques because I've been moving and some
Mm-hmm.
house now that that is complete.
Right. Congratulations.
Yeah. That now I have a breath of fresh air and taking up two courses. So what do you want to learn, right? It's a great time to absorb new energy, new
Mm-hmm.
information.
Right. And it does feel like now that the days are longer, it's it's been really refreshing to look around and there's maybe still a little light around 8 p.m. and it feels energizing. Feels like we're all waking up from our deep dark winter sleep. Um
Hibernation, yeah.
yeah. So let's move on to Thursday, May 14th. Mercury conjunct the sun.
Yeah, this is coming together in Taurus at 23 degrees of Taurus. Now, this is the Cazimi. This is clear-minded and grounded. It's like being sure of information that is earthbound, right? Like things that you know that you can walk upon, treading, which is again great to learn new things. And this Cazimi period is from like 3:24 a.m. on Thursday the 14th, until 6:23 p.m. So it's a long Cazimi period, and that means that Mercury and the Sun seem to be moving about the same rate. I mean, Mercury is always a little faster than the Sun, but
Hmm.
here Mercury meets up with the Sun at 23 degrees of Taurus. So clear-minded and grounded. I like this.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Let's move on to Saturday, May 16th, new moon in Taurus.
Yeah, 25 degrees of Taurus now. The moon meets up with the sun like it does every month, every month. This is at 3:01 Central. Because it's a new moon in Taurus, we're talking about what rules Taurus,
Venus.
and Venus is at 27 degrees of Gemini. So um, there's no Ptolemaic aspect from this moon and the sun to its ruler. It's in Gemini, so there is aversion here. But it does make a sextile to the Jupiter, which is really nice at 21 of Cancer. So plant many seeds, right? Plant many seeds, watch what takes root, and then you grow from there,
Hmm.
right? So this is, enriching your soil, your foundation, your grounding, the earth in some way. This is just a great Saturday to plant. And this is after Mother's
Yay.
Day, and usually it says you can go ahead and start planning your outdoor, your annuals and things after Mother's Day, and it's the Saturday after. So I really like this. It's a great day to plant your plants, your flowers.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So excited to do that. Let's move on to the end of the week, Sunday, May 17th. We have two transits this day. Mercury ingress Gemini is our first.
Yeah, this is at 5:26 a.m. and this is mental busyness. And Mercury loves its sign of Gemini, right?
Hmm.
You know a Gemini. Likes
I
to
know a lot
talk,
of Geminis.
like to process, like to think. Their mind is always in the circling of I'm thinking, I'm
Hmm.
considering. So this is multiple thoughts and ideas are permeating your brain. File some away, right? Because Mercury's going to be here for about 3 weeks, and it's useful to, get a filing cabinet in your mind or take lots of notes and lots of post-it notes so that you can peel them off, stick them places, and then when you're done with them, you throw them out, right?
Hmm.
And so it's
Hmm.
checking off a lot of getting around to it. Um,
Yeah.
Chores or thoughts or things that you've put on the back burner, especially when Mercury was in the sign of Taurus, because he comes out here now and he's now ready to speed things up a little bit.
Yeah. Exciting. Spring is springing. Super exciting. Let's move on to the second transit of Sunday, May 17th, which is the reason why the 17th is your Astro interesting day. Mercury conjunct Uranus.
Yeah, this is the first time they have come together in Mercury's sign. And when you put Mercury and Uranus together, they do like each other. We could call them, distant cousins, but Mercury is the thinking, thought, advice, you know, mind, mind player, and Uranus is the sudden aha, the the, you know, erratic thought, the new thought, the change of ideas, the change of thought. So it's really invention. And it's the first time they've come together, even though Uranus has been in the sign of Gemini, but not when Mercury's been there last year. So one of these ideas has legs. So we talked about Saturday and Sunday earlier in the day, where we're going to plant many seeds.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to, your brain is, on fire, thinking you're going to file some of these away. Some will take root, some will not. But one of these ideas or more have legs. And, we talked about when Susan Goodell and I with the Chatting with the Stars, we
Right.
talked a lot about this moment of what she thought, what I thought, and really fast clicks, old way becomes obsolete. This is a rapid fire, mind meets lightning, genius. genius level patterning, radical ideas, mental awakening, sudden decisions, downloads, stimulating, a little bit weird and wired. And so we had said all that, and I hadn't said it on this podcast, but we did it on the YouTube, Chatting with the Stars. And then the next day, remember, as I'm a skimmed reader,
Mm-hmm.
we get that, I get uh, that new information that the FDA has approved human trials for the chip that gets put
In the
into the
brain.
brain for severe depression,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is mental illness is a big reason of the high suicide, there's more suicides than there are car accident deaths.
Right.
And they were just
That's
giving
alarming.
some really very important pieces, how this could really newly define mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
so, again, this is kind of that's why it's my astro interesting day of the month. I don't know if it's the most astro interesting day of the year, but I think this is a huge step forward into some invention of the
Mm-hmm.
mind.
Right.
Right? It's
Right.
like in fact, they titled it, and I'm now forgetting what it says, but when I wrote Mind Meets Lightning, it kind of said brain on brain shockwaves or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's huge, huge.
Yeah. Very interesting. And don't forget, everybody, you can follow along with these transits personally. You can download the astrology guide if you're brand new to astrology. Download your natal chart where you can see where your planets and houses wind up. And you can also book a reading with Sandy for $20 off if you use the code podcast. Let's move into talisman times, where we are discussing talisman number 1916, and it's being created on May 11th, 2026, to welcome a vocation that is respected and influential.
My public path unfolds through integrity, compassion, and deeply rooted purpose. What I build now is guided by insight and quiet endurance. The sun is in Taurus, the moon is in Pisces. So we are having a third quarter moon phase. The ascendant is Leo, ruled by the sun. The sun is, like I just said, in Taurus. So there's a really nice connection between the moon and Mercury and that Jupiter, right? Because we talked about this, because this talisman is on Monday, the May 11th. And then on Tuesday, the 12th, we talked about that exact aspect of Mercury making a sextile to Jupiter. And this talisman the day before reflects that energy, reflects that the moon pulls both of those together. So it's a great time for taking on a vocation. In fact, when I
Mm-hmm.
read this, when I wrote it, right, and then I read, I'm like, to welcome a vacation that is respected and influential. Okay, what do I mean by that? And I realized, oh my gosh, I meant vocation.
Yeah.
But I like a
Yeah.
vacation too.
But the
So
vocation is more meaningful and has more
influential
longevity to it.
and
Hmm.
respected. True.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the horizon, where September 3rd through 8th is the Chicago UAC, United Astrology Conference in Chicago. You can purchase your tickets with the link in the show notes. And our Egypt retreat, September 13th through the 26th. You can sign up today or learn more by scheduling your free retreat call, and that link is in the show notes as well. Let's move on and into our house, where I have a Taurus meditation for the new moon in Taurus. So if you are ready, this is a passive meditation, so don't be driving or trying to be super active. This is a really wonderful time just to ground down, allow your body to rest, and get into this Taurus earth energy for the new moon. We all have this Taurus energy within us. So let's begin by grounding ourselves and relaxing our bodies
before laying flat for the meditation. Come to a tabletop position on the ground. Like the bull with all 4 hooves dug into the mud, place your hands below your shoulders and your knees below your hips with a neutral spine. We will flow through a few cat-cow positions, matching our deep inhales and exhales with the movement. So take a moment to meet me there in that tabletop position. We begin with an inhale, moving into cow pose. We lift our tailbone upward, press our chest forward, allowing our belly to sink to the ground. Our head is lifted, and we relax our shoulders away from our ears and gazing toward the ceiling. As you exhale, come into a cat pose while rounding your spine outward, tucking in your tailbone and drawing your pubic bone forward. Release your head towards the floor. There's no need to force your chin to your chest. Just relax. And when it's time for you to inhale again, move back into the cow pose, lifting your head and your tailbone upward, dropping your belly. And when it's time to exhale, return back to that cat pose while rounding your spine outward, releasing your head towards the floor, drawing in your pubic bone. And cycle through these, really connecting with your breath. And I'll meet you here for the meditation. Now that we've been able to connect to our bodies and relax, we're going to begin a passive meditation. So there's no more actions you need to take. During this short meditation, you will simply be, laying or sitting still and silent. I ask you to listen, open your awareness to the moment, and maintain a sense of inner peace for yourself. I've recorded this Taurus meditation in one of my favorite parks in Chicago. Nestled beside the lakeshore is a bird sanctuary, so you will hear the sounds of the beautiful birds, as well as the bird watchers walking along the pathway, and some city sounds like airplanes overhead approaching for landing. Use this meditation to accept yourself as you are now, to find what you're grateful for, or to simply enjoy. Let's begin. When we find a moment for stillness, it is easy to find things to be grateful for. It is the slowing down that allows our awareness to broaden, our ears to open, and our peace to surround us. As you lay here, take a moment to think of one thing you're grateful for today. Hold that thing, person, or experience. Hold it with you here within the stillness. And once you're ready, you can loosen your attention, allow your mind to wander, while still feeling that sense of gratitude in your heart. I'll leave you here for a few moments and meet back with you at the end of the meditation. And as you come back into the room, you can make some small movements with your fingers and toes, waking up your arms and legs, and waking up your full body with a nice, juicy stretch. One way we can integrate gratitude into our busy lifestyles is by taking in our surroundings. These types of mindful meditations will help you focus on the present, to notice and appreciate the little things we generally take for granted. Thank you for joining me for another astrology meditation. I'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody, for joining in. I hope you enjoyed those bird sounds. I recorded those in a local bird sanctuary here in Chicago. And yeah, just root down. This is a really wonderful time for Earth energy. Just like we said, plant those plants and plant those seeds, because we're moving into Gemini season where things will start to be a little busier and pick up speed. So thank you all for joining in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one, you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you. The story of you, the story